Alright, what is going on, guys? Boy Nick, owner of Maceli Visuals, coming at you guys with yet another video today. In this video, we're going to talk about, are you guys actually ready for a website? The 100% truth. But before we even start this video off, I do want to let you guys know that right here, we are actually sponsoring. Okay, it says new sponsorship program that we put out. The link will be in the description below. We're sponsoring organizations, companies, esports, whatever it may be, preferably esports. Our sponsorship is really esports related. But make sure you guys check that out. It's very beneficial. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into this video. Alright, so basically 3 tips or 3 reasons on why if you have these in place, then you do need a website. It's time for it. So number 1 would be graphics and branding, right? So if you have your graphics and branding already in place, if you're pushing content to your Twitter, if you're pushing content to your social medias, if you have a professional level of branding and graphics consistently establishing brand identity throughout your social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, as well as YouTube, right? You will you're now at a time for a website, because if you don't have your branding down pat, why would you get a website? It's just a waste of time. It's a waste of effort, right? If you don't have any type of graphics or any branding that represents your brand, it's not time to get a website. If you have all of that in place, you already have good branding, you already have the engagement, you already have the content being pushed on your social medias, it is exactly the time for you to get a website. Now is the time. Number 2 would basically be like, your associates, your team. So for example, in esports, right? It's, do you have any players? Do you have any members? Do you have any teams? Do you have any sponsors? Do you have any apparel? Do you have stuff like that? Sponsors, we're gonna get into that real soon. But do you have stuff like that in business? And maybe, do you have employees? Do you have enough people to scale and grow? Do you have enough people? Do you have your ducks in a row? Do you have your team? Do you have your staff? Do you have everything lined up ready to go for an esports? If you don't have a team, if you have no teams, why are you getting a website? You don't need a website. If you have no teams, then you don't need a website. If you have your teams, though, if your teams are competing, right? So let me give you guys an example. One player, right? They signed the greatest, I think it was Star, whatever the hell they call it, Star something, some kind of game. It wasn't Star Wars, but it was Brawl Stars or something like that. They signed the player, a greatest player in Latin America, right? They don't have a website, okay? So you have graphics being pushed to your Twitter showcasing this player, right? But where's the growth for this player? There's only so much you could do on your social media. On the website right now, you're going to be able to market this. You're going to be able to bring him to market. You're going to be able to bring value to this player, and that's when everything changed. When you show that you could bring extra value to these big players and big sponsors, right? If you're a little company and you're going to G Fuel or Scuff Gaming and stuff like that, how are you going to add? They don't care about you. You need to show them how you're going to add value to them, right? And that is exactly by having the right people to showcase on your website to build up value and to pitch to these sponsors, to pitch to these players and all this stuff. Hey, this is how we're going to add value right here. So if you don't have any team, if you don't have any players, if you don't have any members or anybody inside your organization, your small business or anything, you don't need a website to showcase your product or service, because you don't even have the fundamentals done down pat. If you do have a team, you do have your fundamentals down pat, you got your ducks in a row, you got your staff, you got everybody ready to go, and you have your graphics and branding going good, then you need a website, and now is the time. Alright, last but not least, we're going to get into sponsors, right? So basically, your sponsors, also known as your target audiences, also known as your audiences, your opportunity for revenue, basically. Meaning, you need to have this in place. So if you don't get a website, if you're selling a service of marketing, and you don't know who to reach, okay? First of all, if you're in marketing and you don't know who to reach, you're in the wrong business. Let me use another example. If you have a small business restaurant, right? Let me use a better example. If you have a small business shoe store, right? And you don't have your marketing in place, you don't have, what I mean by that is target audience. If you don't know exactly who you're going to be reaching, if you don't have your ducks lined up in a row, don't get a website. What I'm saying is, as soon as you open doors the first day, never a good idea to get a website. It's not good. That means you don't have your target audience in. A month into your business, after seeing people come into your store, after you see the people who flow, and get an idea of what they like, what they don't like, that is when you're getting your research. You're getting your opportunity for revenue. You're getting your target audiences right there. That is when you get a website, okay? Now let me talk about that. Let me talk about esports now, right? That's where the sponsors come into play. Not really a target audience. I'm talking about opportunity for revenue and sponsors, right? If you just launched your organization, you probably don't need a website unless you have sponsors and you have steps 1 and 2 in place. If you have steps 1 and 2 in place already and you just launched, you need a website. If you don't have these 3 steps in place, Do not waste your money on a website. We're not going to sell you on something that you don't need. This is the 100% truth. But if you have these 3 steps, and you do not have a website, you're missing out. What are you missing out on? You're missing out on money, you're missing out on opportunity, you're missing out on growth, and you're missing out on an opportunity to scale. The last thing that you're missing out on is your dreams and your visions. You started up your business or your company or your organization, whatever you started up, you had a vision in mind. If you have these 3 steps in play and you don't have a website, you are putting yourself behind the 8 ball. You are missing out on so much opportunity, and that's just the 100% truth. If you have number 1, number 2, but not 3, don't get a website. If you're missing 1 step, nah, do not get a website until you have these 3 steps done. As soon as you have these 3 steps done, it is the perfect time for a website. Hey, thank you guys for watching the entire video, man. You guys know that we're going to be trying to put out more content and everything. Stay tuned for the next couple of videos coming out. I really want to come up with new angles and new ways to get out of this room. Maybe a whiteboard. Maybe we might introduce the whiteboard. We're going to start doing a lot of commercials. We're going to get intros made. We're going to do a lot of animated stuff and a lot of video, short commercial stuff type things that are going to be coming content-wise and everything for your guys' benefit only, okay? Please leave a like and subscribe to the video as it helps us out. And leave a comment, right, of what you think we could improve on. Okay, that's all I want you to do. If you take anything, leave a comment of what you want us to improve on as far as adding value, as far as content-wise, anything. Because without that, how are we supposed to grow and get better? We want your feedback. Without further ado, it's been Nick. You guys have a great day.